We just got off the ferry, and if you want more information about the ferry, watch the video part 4.
We loved the ferry. We would definitely do it again. We enjoyed it so much. It was just a different way of traveling Iceland. We've been in the camper van, so it was just very, very different. And it was a nice little break. And it was just very enjoyable to just sit as a family together and look at the ocean and see the birds, so many beautiful birds, and of course the dolphins.
First night in Snaefellsnes, we got to see the northern lights. Excited for a new day. We didn't really get to see anything in Snaefellsnes yesterday. I mean, we just arrived there by the ferry, as we said, and now we're getting ourselves all ready and settled to go on our adventure. This waterfall had a parking area, even though the parking was really, really slippery and icy. But the pathway to walk to the waterfall, you actually walk or hike. You hike down this hill to see the waterfall. Now the hike was an easy hike, but the pathway was not clear. So pretty much people were just walking around everywhere. There wasn't really a path that you knew to walk on. There is a path that you can walk to get closer to the waterfall if you wanted to. There are also many more hiking trails that we could see people walking. We could see an actual path of hiking around this area. It's a very pretty area. Right before you get to the famous stop, there is a rest stop right before we could see the mountain, and it's really just a beautiful area, and it is free parking because it's considered as a rest stop. So it's picnic tables and a parking place that you can park and see the view. So this is actually the famous spot to stop, where you have the mountain and the waterfall. You can see there's a lot more people in this area. There was a path, but it was completely frozen. There really wasn't a safe pathway to go down to the waterfall. Our kids could not do it. It was a little bit disappointing, especially when you had to pay for the parking. I guess we expected that they would take care of the pathway.
So Kirkjufell was all icy and very, very windy and cold. And it was $25 to park here. That's really expensive. There's no restroom or anything. There's nothing, actually. And they're not even fixing the path to make it, not as icy. It's slippery all the way down.
If you look right next to the cars, you see all that ice. That's pretty much how it's been all the parking places to park your car. But this was a great waterfall to hike. There were paths. It was very clear where to go. It was safe. The kids could actually stretch their legs and run and play. It was a great hike for our age group, and it was just very safe. It was just a great place, and it was a beautiful waterfall, and there weren't that many people. We stayed at the hostel as a campsite. And by the way, if you want more information about the campsites we stayed in, I did a whole video just on the campsites. Once you start driving in the national park, you can see that the road is different. It's a little bit more bumpy. It's sometimes F-roads, just so you can see. But this is where so many beautiful places are in this area. So many places to experience and hike around. This beach, we actually come back to it. But first, we wanted to go all the way to the lighthouse. Very windy, but it's going to be windy this next 3 days, like really badly windy. But we still decided to try and come and see the places, just because it's not just one day, it's going to be like this for the rest of the time that we're here. And we're so glad we came. It's so beautiful. The drive was amazing, and the lighthouse is beautiful, but very windy. So we're going to take one kid at a time to go see the place. Let's talk about the wind now. The wind is everywhere in Snaefellsnes. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But we have seen already 3 drones at this trip that people took up to the sky, and they were completely destroyed. So if you're planning to bring a drone, that's great, but know that there are certain areas that it will not work, and the wind is bad and you will lose it.
Have some soup for lunch and some sandwiches. Perfect. Mwah.
Okay, bear with me, seriously. In this whole area, the wind is pretty bad. We read about it in Snaefellsnes that it does get really windy, especially in the time we were there, and we were there during March. And you see the black sand, or that sand is really hurts when it hits your face. So the beach wasn't that great. It really hurt, and the wind was strong. But it's not only here, the lighthouse, all the waterfalls that we've been at, the wind is really strong in this area. And I just want you to be prepared for that, because at a certain point on this trip, I couldn't open up the door anymore because we almost lost the door too many times, and I was just not strong enough to hold it. So my husband had to now start going around and opening the door for me so I could get out. So yes, the wind was hard, but yet we enjoyed it. We still enjoyed the adventure, exploring and going through all this. And it was just, we kind of like learned on the way, okay, this was too much, that was too much, this was great, this worked well. And there are places maybe at the beach that you could find a little bit of shelter. But yeah, the wind was definitely really strong.
So many rest stops on the way, and also there are tons of little hikes that doesn't show at all on Google Maps. So there is plenty to do here, and it is beautiful places to go through while you're hiking. This is just sidewalks on both sides, and just beautiful walking right here. And at the end, there was a picnic table and a beautiful like rest stop to just sit and just enjoy the view that you're in. So there's not too many specialty coffee places in Iceland, and this is one of them, so we definitely didn't want to miss it. It was going to close in like 20 minutes. I'm so happy we made it. And there's actually another coffee place that also had high ratings, but this particularly was specialty coffee, and my husband and I love it, especially my husband. So the famous mountain and the waterfall in Iceland, Kirkjufell, is right there. Like, I can look at it right now from here. So it's a really sweet town, this town right here. My husband and I talked about it before. We really enjoyed this town. So the beach, the beach was windy, of course, because today is just going to be windy. It's going to be windy for the next 4 days. The sand, when it hit you, it hurt. Like, you felt it, like, hit your face and everything. But it was beautiful, like everything in Iceland. No, it really was beautiful, and the whole drive up there at the national park is beautiful, and there's different trails and hikes to around that area. Easily do longer time here, but campsites that we've been in, they're alright. I wouldn't say they're the best. It's very tight, a lot of people, and just not enough sinks to wash your dishes, and that makes a difference. Also, restrooms. The restrooms weren't that great. They're fine. It's just not enough, and you're just waiting a lot to get anything done. But the beach was beautiful, and the kids did play in the sand, and there was some snow. It was a beautiful place. We got some photos together, and I really enjoyed that part of Snaefellsnes. That's really beautiful. So my hubby just called me. He said it's really beautiful inside, and he was asking me if the kids are awake or not. Most are. One is still asleep, but we'll see. I mean, it's also going to be closing soon, but he said it was really nice in there, and it's comfy and unique.
Pour over, latte.
How much are we coffee lovers? He got me coffee earrings, coffee beans. So it's Colombia coffee. All of it is from Colombia. And how do you say roast? Yes, roast? Yeah, she roasts her own coffee. So, and I got the pour-over, as my husband said, and it is delicious. I recommend. So we're at the lookout. There's known to see whales, so we'll see. This lookout is known that you can see whales passing through here, or really any kind of wildlife, but particularly whales. It was still too early in the season to see any. It was beautiful to go and see, but we didn't see anything while we were there. Talking. This is probably our favorite stop to see this mountain, the famous mountain of Snaefellsnes. It's just beautiful here. It's not too many people. You don't have to pay, and it's beautiful. This stop.
At the other place, you have to pay for parking and take a picture with the waterfall and the mountain. It was so slippery. We actually couldn't take any photos or family photos there because it was so, like the kids couldn't do it. They couldn't walk down to the waterfall or do any of that hike because it was so slippery. So we decided to go back to the rest stop and take some family photos here. And I tell you, it was worth it, and it was great, and it was safe. We're back at the hostel. Again, we're using it as a campsite. We paid for sleeping in our camper van that we can park there. We're making dinner. And I want to show you this beer that we got in the hostel that someone actually makes it and sells it in the hostel. It's really good. It's really nice. We really enjoyed it. And dinner was delicious, of course. And it was great to end our day. It was actually really easy. I mean, yes, there was ice, it was cold, it was windy, but it wasn't a long hike. It definitely can be a quick stop if that's something you'd like to do. It is situated in a beautiful spot. Wherever you look, it's just beautiful scenery. On top of this mountain, there's not really anything to see. Like, there's not like a hole of water or things like that, but the view from on top of this mountain is beautiful. There are plenty of pathways that you can pick in this area. This is where you have a little bit of shipwreck that came to the beach. We're actually not going on the beach. We're going to be looking at an overview of the beach and the area. It's really very nicely, the pathways, you really can know where to go, where to walk. Everything is very clear. It's a really, really nice place in that way. You can see down there is the shipwrecks, pieces that came ashore. It was just a really nice hike. We enjoyed it. centers are just great in Iceland. Usually have, like you see outside, picnic tables. There's a place to sit inside. There's a place where you can talk to, get information about the area. Because there's actually a lot of different hiking trails that you can do around this lighthouse. So just so you know that when there is a visitor center, to stop there. There are restrooms. Usually they also have something maybe to eat, not always, but it is a really nice stop to kind of get to know the area. So it's very windy. It's too windy to just take the kids out. We have to pick really specific spots, where to take the kids out and everything, and the pathway, is it clear enough for them? It just there's some areas that I almost flew away. I had to hold tight onto my hubby. So it's not easy weather, but Snaefellsnes is really beautiful. The park, the national park, so many little hikes everywhere. It's just, yeah, it's really worth it to come here. Even if it's bad weather, it really is enjoyable just to drive around and see certain points out on the trip.
It's beautiful, as you can see. Super windy, but it's absolutely gorgeous. There, and then you have the mountains in the background. You can't really see them, but absolutely gorgeous.
So we made it to the Seal Beach, and I'm gonna go out. It's so windy. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but it really is windy. So it'll be a quick stop. I hope we see seals. So we almost lost the door already twice. The wind is so strong that I barely can hold the door when I open it. So now hubby has been opening the door for me and holding it on the other side so it doesn't fly away. And sometimes I just climb over and exit at the kids and the door of the kids, but I think this time we'll just open up the door beside me. That's how strong the wind is. It's so strong. You do need to pay for parking. It's like €5 to park here. my cup of tea, but I'm really happy we did it. All the kids tried it, and I think actually the one who loved it the most was the youngest.
It's very iron.
Yeah.
It tastes like lots of iron.
Yeah.
It tastes like a bubbly iron. You want to try it?
Yeah.
You do? You guys want to try this? This is the water that tastes like soda from the ground. Want to try it?
In Iceland, it does happen that you drive a lot, and to find coffee is really nice. And the hotels, they do have sometimes a place to buy coffee, and this was pretty good, and it definitely helped us to continue on our drive.
We are at the end of Snaefellsnes, and we're at our campsite.
So, when you come to a campsite, I do recommend calling the day before, letting them know you're coming, and then they'll tell you what you need to do, sign up or anything like that. And that's what we've been doing, and it's been super helpful. We got blessed because on our first night in Snaefellsnes, we got to see the Northern Lights. And also on our last night, we got to see the Northern Lights.